Hey, it's Dave here with Fix and Fly RC on my, I guess, part two of my first attempt at monocoating and putting together a balsa wood plane. As I mentioned in my first video, the plane itself, a friend of mine had done all the hard work, has actually built it. And actually the wing's complete. It's got all the electronics, the flaps and gear and all that's already installed. So he's really done the hard part. So I'm taking on trying to finish it up. He had to sell it for personal reasons. But anyway, I had mentioned before is that had not had the tail piece cut yet. And he was at a place where he couldn't cut it with this stuff. So actually he had a tail out of an old plane that had wrecked, that he had salvaged, and decided to try and see what that worked like. It fit for for the most part. The only thing here is there's a little gap right here, and that I'll need to piece something in there together. And so that's going to be the next step. What I'm doing right now is I just took a little piece of styrofoam, and I just wanted to kind of get a feel of what a piece would look like. So I kind of cut it and kind of shaped it a little bit. It's not good foam, so it's already coming apart. So it gives me an idea of what I need to do. So I've got a piece of stock here, and somewhere in here some other piece of styrofoam. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'll cut that to fit in there, make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to trace around the back of the fuselage and trace around the back of the here, and then I'll try to figure out how to smooth that out. Hopefully I can just sand it out. The first piece doesn't work, we'll give her another shot. So that anybody has any better ideas, I'm learning this part of the hobby, so be willing to, if you want to make any comments. I have did my first attempt at monocoating was complete. As I mentioned in the first video, I did the hatch cover. All in all, I was okay with it. It turned out pretty good. Wasn't ecstatic about how this turned out, so going to work on that a little bit. I did end up purchasing one of the small soldering irons to help get around the corners. I didn't have that when I did that. I was having to do it with the big iron, so I think that's going to help. So the only mistake I made with this was I didn't look at my picture of how I wanted to do the plane in two colors. And the wings, are this blue color, as you can see here. And then I was going to do gray on the side, and then blue back up on the top again. And got a little ahead of myself and made it gray, so I got to recover this and make it blue. Also did my first attempt at covering the rudder. And you can see this is what it looks like on this side. I did this side, not near as happy with that. One thing I noticed is that this was has a couple monocoat on top of monocoat, so there's a little gap there, and it clearly comes through. And I've seen some videos, maybe people taking some heat guns and maybe try to peel that off, or maybe just deal with it. And I think it's not going to be that big of a distraction. I mean, I can see it up close, but as you kind of get this at a distance, you can kind of see the outline. Not there, but there's a few places in here where I had cut the material, I guess, just a little too close, and I wasn't able to get a good tug on it. And I'd seen that in some videos, that make sure you left plenty of material. And I guess I was watching some of the guys that have been doing it way longer, and it seemed like they were cutting it pretty short, and it was working out pretty well. So thing here is just live and learn. And like I said, gotta practice is gonna make perfect. So again, my first attempts, and we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, so I'll come back after I get my piece of wood cut and mold it up and see how that looks. Anyway, Dave out here at Fix and Fly RC.